Hi, and thanks for tuning in today. Today I'm going to be doing another type of vlog / story time video. Thank you all so much for your wonderful feedback and encouragement in the last video I did where I talked about why I didn't go to art school. I'm gonna link that below in case you're interested in watching it. But yeah, a lot of you guys actually asked me in that video to share some tips and experiences I've had with trying to grow social media. Because I did mention that when I chose not to go to art school, one of the avenues that I was interested in exploring in order to grow my audience and get my artwork out there was social media. And I thought, I have a few years of experience under my belt. I'm not like by any means like a marketing strategist, or I'm not a professional in this industry, but I do have some tips on how you can grow your social media accounts, especially if you are sharing artwork and want to relate or exist in the art social media subgenre. So I hope you guys find this video useful, and feel free to share some tips that you have found helpful in growing your social media too. I would love to hear your feedback. So first things first, I just want to put out a disclaimer because I know social media is a great platform, and it's one of the most enjoyable things for me is being able to share my art, especially as my audience grows larger and larger. Just seeing the wide impact that art and creativity and hard work can inspire in a large community of people, like that's really rewarding. But I just want to say that social media sometimes can be really toxic, and it can really get in your head and make you lose sight of the really important things. So when I first started sharing my art, I never intended to use social media as a way to earn money or popularity. I just simply, I guess I felt really joyful, and I felt a lot of like this adrenaline rush and this like rush of endorphins whenever I saw that other people were responding to my work. I actually didn't even know that social media was a great way for artists to earn money. I think this was back in like 2014, so Instagram was growing, but it wasn't as big as it is today, and there definitely weren't as many artists on Instagram as there are now. So if you're trying to grow your social media account, I just really would encourage you to have a positive and have like, I guess, a humble mindset going into it. It's not a popularity contest. It's not your only way to make money, and it's definitely not a competition. You should never be comparing how many followers someone else has versus you. If you let those negative thoughts creep into your head, it can really cloud your judgment and kind of make you lose sight of why you want to do art in the first place. So when I approach social media, I see it as a way for me to, one is to share my artwork, but also a good way to kind of hold myself accountable. So when I first started doing art full time, I didn't have enough demand. Like I didn't have enough deadlines. I didn't have enough galleries or clients or print orders to keep me busy. So I had a lot of free time, and I had to schedule my day out and rely on my self-discipline and my own time management skills to keep myself on track. And a great way to hold yourself accountable for your work and make sure that you're actually producing quality content, quality artwork, is by posting it on social media. So what I would do is, for example, if I was doing a work in progress painting, the second I posted it on social media and people saw it and people shared with me like, oh, I'm really excited to see you finish this, or yeah, keep us posted, post more pictures, we love this painting. Like hearing comments like that gave me the extra boost of energy and motivation that I needed to finish those works, but also it kind of also instilled with me a sense of urgency, or like a sense of responsibility that I really should finish it, not only to please other people, but also myself. Like I had posted a work in progress, and every time I looked at my own Instagram page, if I saw that I posted a work in progress of a painting and it was incomplete for over a month, it kind of reminded me that I needed to finish it. So first and foremost, social media is a great way to keep yourself on a steady pace and produce quality content frequently. The second thing is producing quality content actually helps you with social media. I know, especially if you're starting out and you don't even have like 1,000 followers yet, or maybe you don't even have 100 followers yet, it can be very discouraging because you're thinking, well, if my goal is to have 1 million followers or 100,000 followers, how am I ever going to get to that level? Like, it's gonna take years. Am I ever gonna get there? And yeah, to be honest, there is no guarantee. Like, some people who started their Instagram around the same time I started mine don't have as many followers as me, and some people who started way later than me exploded overnight and have like 5 times more than me. So again, like, you can't compare it like that, because there's always going to be someone better than you and there's always going to be someone worse, and you can't like look at someone better than you and feel discouraged, or look at someone worse and feel like arrogant. Like, you have to just focus on your own path. Don't look at anyone else. And really, like, instead of comparing yourself to others, use that energy and your thinking power into thinking about what works for your particular audience. Every artist has a different style. Yes, like, we might all be in the same genre and we might all explore the same topics, but all of us are unique human beings, and we're going to produce art that looks different from each other, even if we're painting similar subjects. So because of that, we each have our own unique audience. Like, no two artists share the same group of followers. So every different audience reacts differently to your posting habits, your content, even the captions you write, or the way you present yourself. So really take the time to look at your audience and figure out how you can engage with them, figure out how you can make them respond to your work more. So for example, when I first started doing Instagram, I wasn't perfect. I actually did look at a lot of other accounts, and I noticed the accounts that were really successful were accounts that did really realistic colored pencil portraits of celebrities or whichever movies or pop stars were kind of trending at the time. And I thought that was the only way to grow my own following, because that's what I saw other people succeed in. So I started trying to paint really realistically or draw really realistically, and maybe making the faces look like actual famous people. So my mindset at the time was that, you know, someone might not be into art, but if they're a fan of this actress that I'm painting, maybe they'll look at my art because they're a fan of the actress. But you know, after a while of trying that, it didn't make me happy. Like, I was at my best and I flourished when I was able to be creative and paint things that were like fantasy and surreal. I wasn't content doing a lot of colored pencil or graphite, you know, realistic drawings. Like, that didn't make me feel like I was unleashing my full creative potential. And in chasing that dream, like almost chasing someone else's dream, it made me really unhappy and also discouraged me because I wasn't producing as much art. When you're forcing yourself to make art that doesn't truly speak to yourself and your calling, you're not as motivated to produce it. So I ended up changing my mind. I was like, you know what? Instead of following someone else's path and trying to always get attention by observing trends, like, I'm going to see what my audience likes. And so I just started experimenting with painting and drawing more of my own style, which is kind of similar to what I do now, like very surreal fantasy type. When I actually started experimenting with my own unique fantasy style of art, I actually did lose a few followers because the people that had jumped onto my ship while I was doing the trendy, realistic colored pencil portraits maybe realized that the fantasy surreal type of style is not for them. And that's totally fine. Everyone has their unique set of interests. I wasn't offended, but in a way it was really freeing because after all the people who unfollowed me, all the people that were left who actually followed me were people that I knew were genuinely interested in the type of art that I wanted to create. So in some ways it was like good riddance, you know? And I started doing more and more fantasy types, and I would just pay attention to the comments that people left me. I'd pay attention to the number of likes something got. For example, I noticed that people really enjoyed when I took work in progress photos. Like I was under the impression that if I did a finished, polished, quality, like professional scan of my finished artwork, it would get more likes than something I took on my iPhone of like a work in progress. But actually it was the opposite. The works in progress got way more attention and way more likes and way more positive response than a finished piece. And I realized it was because a work in progress is probably more interesting and also makes people inspired to create art because it feels more real. When you see a polished, perfect painting that's already done, it's great and you appreciate the beauty of it, but you can't really relate to it because you don't get to see the journey behind it or the work that was put into it. So I noticed when I put out work in progress photos, people responded way better. And so I started putting out more work in progress photos. I was like, wow, like that actually gives me the courage to show my works when they were maybe a little raw or like a first draft. I wasn't as concerned with being perfect anymore. I was just concerned with sharing the actual real process of creating. And that ended up being way more fulfilling for my viewers and way more fulfilling for myself as well. So pay attention to what your followers and your audience likes. And a third tip for growing social media is also to post things that will get people talking. So I'm not saying like clickbait or posting things that are controversial just to get people to argue, but for example, I love posting things that's like, hey, here's a new painting, what do you guys think it means? Or I'll put up 2 drawings and say, oh, which one do you like more? Or something like that. So get your followers talking and engaging with you. Not only will it boost up your visibility, it'll also, again, give you a chance to really communicate and get to know your audience so that you know how to connect with them better. I don't really know exactly how Instagram works, but over the last 2 years, I've kind of observed and figured out that posts that are more widely seen are posts that have high engagement and high, like, fresh engagement. So it's not just something that has, 100,000 likes, probably won't be as widely shared or visible on like your explore page as something that maybe has 10,000 likes, but they're 10,000 new likes and 10,000 new comments. So you want to consistently post new content and try to make those engaging with your followers. So ask them questions, ask them about their day, ask for their input and their feedback and see what they think. I think it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It's a win-win situation because you boost your posts freshness and visibility, and you also get to connect with your audience. The 4th tip I have is to hashtag. So not just hashtagging things that are popular. So if you hashtag something like art or love or insta good, those hashtags might have like, I don't know, 100 million posts. They're actually not going to be as visible as if you hashtag something maybe a little bit more niche, but has a more active community. So something I like to do, I don't hashtag things like love or, like art. I'll be more specific. I'll say like, for example, pastel hair or mermaid or oil painting. So try words that have a more engaging, active community, and then it'll actually help boost your visibility. And also when you hashtag, so back when I started, there were a lot of art sharing accounts, things like Art Fido or Art Collective, and these accounts would have like maybe 1 million followers, and they each have their own unique hashtag. So if you follow those types of accounts, try to see what their hashtag is, and if you hashtag them, sometimes they will share your work. Now, the disclaimer for that is I don't actually know how they work right now. When I was joining Instagram and trying to get my work noticed by those big art sharing accounts, they mostly did them for free. Like they would choose your piece if they thought it was cool or if they responded to it or if they thought it fit the theme of their page. Nowadays, I notice a lot of the same accounts that had once shared my work for free, now they kind of ask for payment or they offer an option. I'm not really sure. I don't really use them anymore, but some of them actually do offer paid posts. So you just pay them. I don't even know how much it costs. I don't know. I'm guessing like 20, 30 bucks. It's just a guess. You pay them that amount of money and they will share your work on their page and get your work seen by like their 1 million followers. But if you don't want to get paid posts and you want to try your chance at being featured for free, hashtag with the account name. And then I just want to say, like, hashtagging is always better than tagging someone in the photo. I think when you tag someone in the photo, it's a little more, I wouldn't say annoying, but it's kind of more spammy than if you just hashtag, because when you tag someone in the photo, A, like they get a notification that you tagged them, and then B, they're like, it appears in their tag photos page, And if their tagged photos page has nothing to do with them, I don't know, it sometimes comes off a little spammy. I've seen artists and art sharing accounts not enjoy being actually tagged in the photo. So just use their hashtag. It serves a purpose, and it's there for a reason, so use the hashtag. So my 5th tip is to pay attention to the time of day and the day of the week that you post. This isn't something you have to follow exactly, of course, but Instagram has analytics now. So there's a feature, I think if you go on your home profile page, there's like a few little bars on the top right corner. So you click on the bars and it shows you what time of day and what time of week your followers are most and least active. And also kind of shows you where the majority of your followers come from. I noticed on mine, the majority of people are not from my time zone. So I live in California, I'm in Pacific time. A lot of my followers are in the East Coast, and they are 3 hours ahead of me. So if I post something at midnight my time, a lot of people, the majority of my followers won't even see it. It'll be 3 a.m., they'll be asleep. So instead, I will maybe post something like early afternoon or maybe in the morning so that more people can see it and respond to it right away. Like I said before in the previous part of my video, Instagram definitely operates on freshness and newness, so you want to get people seeing your work and responding to it the second you post it so that it can become more and more visible. Also, I noticed like if you post on sometimes like Saturday night, a lot of people don't see it because they're out doing stuff and socializing. Sometimes the best day to post is maybe Sunday or on a weeknight, because people tend to be more like trying to unwind after a day of working or school, and they tend to be more active on social media. Same as like the day of a holiday, like Christmas Day or Thanksgiving Day, people might be spending time with their families and they might not be as active in commenting or liking your stuff on social media. So that's also something to keep in mind. And my 6th and final tip is to be patient. Social media is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes a long time for you to get started. Once you've grown, like let's say you have 10,000 followers, it's way easier to go from 10,000 to 20,000 than it is to go from like 0 to 1,000. Like social media works in a strange way. I'm not exactly sure the science behind it, but it is like definitely like an exponential type of growth. So don't be discouraged if you're just starting out and it takes a while. If you've had your Instagram for a year and you have less than 1,000 followers, don't freak out. It's perfectly normal. We've all been through it. Some people catch a break and they're lucky and their post goes viral and they'll explode overnight, but we can't count on that. Not all of us can rely on luck. So just put in the hard work and the patience that you need to really slowly and steadily grow your social media. So just to summarize the tips I said today, is to produce quality content frequently and produce content that engages your audience, gets them talking, gets them interacting with you, and take the time to care about them, notice your audience and pay attention to what they like and give them the content that they want. And also post at proper times during the day, use proper hashtags, and be patient. Do not give up. Just because you're going through a slow period, do not neglect your current followers. Just be grateful and be humble. I think to conclude this video, I'm just gonna say like, again, social media is not, it is essentially a popularity contest, but don't think of it that way. I think especially for us artists, first and foremost, we are artists. We produce work for ourselves, to have fulfillment, to have purpose, to express ourselves, to channel our souls through something creative, and that's amazing. Don't lose sight of that. Sharing your work on social media is great. It gets you connected to an audience that loves your work. It gets you connected to other artists, but don't put social media as your priority. Your priority should always be your art, your craft, practicing and getting better, and yeah, don't lose sight of that. So hopefully these tips will help you. I know it's not like, there's no proper formula, like take steps 1, 2, 3, and then you'll be guaranteed to grow on social media. It's a very organic and very unpredictable platform, and there's really no magic formula that'll get you success overnight. But hopefully my tips will help motivate you guys and encourage you guys and give you a good starting point. So thank you all so much for watching this long video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.